Hey Selectors, I'm Jack and this is the assist line. Dissonance Diva, or P12, introduced a whole new set of strong cards to play the game with, Dissona. Dissona isn't a class, LRig type, tone, team, or anything like that. According to Tommy's card database, it's actually a story, and the cards from the Dissona story all had this label on them. Unsurprisingly, Dissona cards kind of stand apart from other cards in the game and have many costs and abilities that can only be paid for or activated with other Dissona cards. But one set of cards for a whole new way to play the game isn't much, and that's why P13, or Concord Diva, is introducing more support for all of your favorite Dissona and is adding a lot of cool, new, and never-before-seen stuff to the game. This is a wild set, so let's get right into it. First off, to reiterate, Concord Diva is all Dissona cards, and Dissona cards work and play best with other Dissona cards. In fact, many of the pieces and LRigs in P12 and now in P13 only work if you have Dissona Signy on your board, discard Dissona cards, or pay Dissona Enter. And yes, P13 introduces a whole new set of center and assist LRigs. But don't worry, the original Dissona LRigs aren't forgotten. Many of the new cards in P13 drastically expand the options for any given LRig from P12 and really flesh out some of the kits that felt strong but incomplete in P12. Each color gets at least 2 new SR Signy to add to their kits, 5 of which are new Partner Signy for the 5 new centers. And just a reminder, Partner Signy are Signy that have abilities that can only be used if you have their level 3 centers on your field. Wait, did I say 5 new centers? I meant 6, but we'll get to that. The pieces in P13 are also coded to play with Dissona, but they really take the piece game to the next level. They cost less and do more. So we've got new centers and new Partner Signy, new assists, and new pieces to go over. Let's jump in with the new centers. These new centers have a lot in common with the previous Dissona centers. Their abilities all check for Dissona Signy and cards, and instead of once per games, they have Exceed 4 abilities. Starting in white, we have Remember making a comeback. Her Dissona version constantly taxes your opponent's guards, and if you exceed 4, she turns off all of her opponent's auto abilities for a full turn cycle. Her Partner Signy can also tax guards, salvage guards for you, and draw some cards. Moving to green, Midoriko is all about power in Dissona. Any Dissona Signy in your center zone gets plus 5k all the time for free. And at the start of your attack phase, you can enter charge and then add any Signy from your enter zone to your hand. Her Exceed 4 gives all of your Signy plus 10k until the end of your opponent's next turn. And that makes a lot of sense when you look at her Partner Signy, which can vanish Signy and protect herself from your opponent's abilities as long as she gets a lot of power. Next up, Pure Luke has been chosen to represent blue in Concord Diva. At the start of your attack phase, you can cast any Dissona spell from your trash provided you pay the cost. This is nasty with her Exceed 4, which gives an opponent's Signy minus 4k every time you use a spell the turn you pop it. Her Partner Signy draws or enter charges if you used a spell and digs for more spells when you play it. Red has an equally fitting candidate for Concord Diva. Hirina is coming back. This new Hirina can vanish the Signy once per turn for 2 enter, and she has the classic draw a card and enter charge 1 when she comes in. Her Exceed 4 is brutal, letting you discard your hand, and for each Dissona card discarded, your opponent burns 1 enter. And then, on Hirina's next attack, your opponent can't guard. Her Partner Signy can give itself Assassin and lets you enter charge, so as you can see, Hirina remains the queen of the all gas no brakes deck archetype. Last but anything but least, Nanashi's coming to bat for black. At the start of your attack phase, you can use her trademark ability and give one of your opponent's Signy zones a virus. Then all infected Signy on your opponent's field get minus 3k for the turn. Her Exceed 4 gives a Signy minus 10k and mills your opponent for 6. Her Partner Signy mills your opponent 4 cards at the start of every attack phase, and you can pay 1 black and put any Dissona Signy from your trash onto your field when she hits the board. And yes, she can choose herself and chain the ability. Since Nanashi generates coins, this new Partner Signy can also spend 5 coins and give a Signy minus 12k. In Concord Diva, Black is also getting 2 new assist lines featuring Mew and Iona with their first assist LRigs. Predictably, they do things like give Signy minus power, put your opponent's Signy in the trash, and fish stuff out of the trash for you. But there's also a pretty unique Mew that totally shuts out 1 spell in your opponent's trash for the rest of the game. Because black and white were missing from the assist lines in P12, the other assist in P13 is white. Sasha gets her first assist line here, and once again, she does predictably white things like return your opponent's Signy to their hand and top check for cards. One of her level 1s can salvage a servant though, so that's pretty unique. With the centers, partners, and assists out of the way, let's get into the pieces. The pieces in P12 were red, green, and white, so naturally the pieces in P13 are blue and black. Blue gets an obnoxious new piece called Unrest, Unrest. You draw 2 and then put any number of Dissona Signy from your hand onto the field. Then if you have 3 Dissona Signi, your opponent discards 2 cards, and you bottom deck one of their Signi. All of this for the bargain bin cost of 1 blue enter. But for 1 black, you can also play Instigate, the new black piece. You mill your opponent 8 cards, put up to 2 Dissona Signi from your trash onto the field, then give an opponent Signi minus 5k for each Dissona Signi on your field. P13 also introduces 3 new colorless pieces. One of them is Brain Hearts, which for 2 enter lets you draw 2, discard 1, and vanish a Signi. The other 2, however, are very unique and do stuff that we've never seen in Western WIXOSS before. Unknown is a 0-cost piece that when you play it, goes to your check zone, flips itself over, and then puts itself onto the field as a level 3 Signi printed on the other side of the piece. The level 3 Signi is Unknown Code Rue, which has Shadow on your opponent's turn, lets you draw or enter cards when she attacks, and when she enters the field, increases your center Elrig's limit by 2 until the end of your next enter phase. You could literally stick this in any deck, which is kind of wild to think about. But the other piece is even wilder. Mysterious Rendezvous is also a 0-cost piece, but it's a Dream Team with either black or white. When you play it, you discard your hand and put all cards from your enter into your trash. If 5 or more cards were moved to the trash from this cost, you perform the following action. If your center Elrig has not grown this turn, flip this card over in the check zone and grow it onto the center Elrig on your field without paying the grow cost. And on the other side of this piece, we find a level 4 Elrig. That's right, a level 4 Elrig. This is Mayu. She has 2 Elrig types, Tama and Iona, meaning that she can only grow onto any Tama or Iona center. She has a limit of 7, and when she enters the field, you get to take an additional turn after this one, but during that turn, you can only have 1 Signi on your field. Also, when she enters, you can put a card from under her into the trash, and all of Signi on your opponent's field lose their abilities until end of turn. So at the cost of all your hand and all your enter, you get to play a level 4 center Elrig and take an additional turn. Now, with the way all this is worded, and with a massive investment as well as the fact that it forces you to pass the turn back with only 1 Signi on board after your extra turn, playing this card comes at a massive risk. But I assure you, I and many others will try to make it work, so stand back and let me cook. Now that's a big bomb to drop when talking about a new set, so I saved it for last. This is by no means the end of cool stuff in P13, but it's where I'm going to wrap up this video. P13 is an incredible new set and will fundamentally change this new Dissona arc of the game we're in right now. So brace for impact and get ready to crack some packs of Concord Diva. And thanks for calling the assist line. Thank you for calling the assist line. The WIXOSS media you requested is complete, however, please stay on the line for more content. To subscribe and receive more WIXOSS content, please press the subscribe button on your screen now. The assist line values your feedback and encourages you to leave your comments in the indicated section. To repeat this media, press the replay button on your device.